Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TeenLife Live College Prep Expo. It is my pleasure to welcome you. We've got some great organizations ready to present to you this evening. My name is Jonathan Kendall, and I'm thrilled to be welcoming you tonight as a representative of TeenLife Media. This is the first of two great sessions we'll be holding this evening with you. So we do encourage you all to, if you like what you see here, stick around for our second session tonight at 7 Eastern. A reminder to all of you just now joining us, your camera and your microphone are turned off. Our presenters tonight will not be able to hear you. However, representatives from all 5 programs are in the chat, they are on the call, and they will be ready and willing to answer any questions that you might have. So be sure to take advantage of that. If you would like to this evening, you can ask those questions using the Q&A panel at the bottom of the Zoom window, or if you'd like directly in the chat. Following the presentations tonight, there will be a short moderated Q&A where we'll be asking all of our presenters tonight a question to learn a little bit more about them. So be sure to stick around to the end of the program for that if you are interested. It is now my pleasure to introduce Marie Schwartz, the founder and CEO of TeenLife Media.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I just wanted to, first of all, welcome you to our first ever College Prep Expo. We are delighted that you registered and that you are listening to this virtual event. Just by way of background, TeenLife is the leading discovery platform for all types of academic and enrichment opportunities for students in grades 7 through 12. The 7 listing types on our site include summer programs, gap programs, schools, colleges, businesses such as the ones that are here at this event who are supportive of this age group. And we also have community service opportunities. The most recent listing type that we've added is called after school enrichment or school year programs. So because of COVID, a lot of clubs and things like that migrated to online platforms this past year. So this event features several different types of organizations, not all of whom charge a fee. We know that applying to college is very anxiety provoking, and there are wonderful people out there who can help you. It ranges from figuring out what kind of college or major you want to focus on, to how to present yourself well in an essay, to setting yourself apart through good grades or good test scores, volunteering, sharing your portfolio, and finally, and last but not least, is the whole topic of how to pay for college, whether it's through scholarships or other financial aid. So we just wanted to give you this opportunity to hear from a number of experts. The presentations will be short, but you'll be able to understand very soon how they can add value and what it is that they can offer you. So enjoy the event. I look forward to getting your feedback.
Thank you so much, Marie. Now, without any further ado, I'd like to pass it on to our first presenter of the evening, collegeadvisor.com.
All right, hello everyone. Thank you, Jonathan, for the intro. So my name is Ariana. I come from collegeadvisor.com, and we're going to tell you guys a little bit about how to stand out in the college admissions process, and we'll talk a little bit about how and what College Advisor does to help students in the application process as well. So again, my name is Ariana Pagan. I have my undergrad degree from Emmanuel College in Boston. I also have my master's in educational research, and I'm a licensed social worker associate. I've been in higher education for 5 years, primarily working in admissions and academic advising at universities such as Emmanuel College, Babson College, and Northeastern University. So where in application do students have an opportunity to stand out? The first is going to be on your transcript. We want to see that students have taken higher level courses than just the core curriculum. So that includes honors, AP courses, and we want to really see that you can handle that higher level of work, because that is what's going to be taken at the college level. The next way to stand out would really be to schedule an interview with the admissions office or with an alumni, depending on how the university works. This is a really great opportunity to show us your personality and really create a personal aspect to your application, because what happens is in that interview, the notes from that interview then get put into your application. So whoever's reading it can see, oh, wow, this is what happened in the interview. You know, this person sounds great, whatever it might be. And the next would be through extracurriculars. It's not necessarily that we want to see everything that you've done, but maybe you took a summer trip to Europe that changed your life. Maybe, you know, you created an app for an iPhone or an Android. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be that extreme, but maybe you found your passion early on, and showing us in your extracurricular activities how you've contributed to your community and how you're showcasing that passion can help you stand out as an applicant. And the last piece would be the college essay. It's really important to understand that the college essay is really what can tie your essay, your entire application together. It really provides a jumping off point. I know from experience, a lot of admissions officers will start with the college essay just to get a sense of the student. So that's really like your first opportunity to showcase yourself and why you're applying and what you can contribute to the university. So going off of that, what makes a great essay or a great extracurricular list? Number one is going to be your cohesiveness. To be honest, you know, admissions advisors, we read a lot of applications in a day, anywhere from, you know, 30 to 80, depending on the size of the university. So you have a very small window to make an impression on an admissions officer. And so when we're reading your essay, we want to see that it flows, that we can get through it, and that we can understand your point of view and it doesn't jump around a lot. We also want to see your creativity. We're not looking for anything extreme. We're not looking for tragedy. To date, for example, the best college essay I ever read was about a student's 15-minute walk to CVS. Completely ordinary. We've all done it, but just the way it was laid out, the creativity behind it really stands out, you know, 5 years later for me. And of course, grammar, we notice all of those little grammar mistakes. So reading an essay that is not just cohesive, but grammatically correct, and we can tell it's been edited, is definitely what will help you stand out. You'd be surprised how many students don't reread their essay or check for grammar. And for extracurriculars, as I mentioned earlier, what doesn't make, we're not looking for everything that you've done in high school. We want to know, what are you passionate about? Where is your energy being put into that is contributing to your community? And how are you going to bring that to the university? I think that's what's important. And consistency. So we want to see things that you've done for at least 2 to 3 years. So how does College Advisor help with this? We take students through the entire application process, from helping you create a candidate profile, understanding, you know, where your jumping off point is, creating a college list, brainstorming essay topics, editing your college list. You know, we also offer interview preparation, standardized testing help, financial aid help, and really tracking your application progress throughout your entire college experience. And if you're interested in working with a college advisor one-on-one, you can go to collegeadvisor.com. And in the bottom right of the screen, there is a little chat box. And if you just type consultation in there, you'll actually get a live team member to walk you through a consultation, which is free. And College Advisor is great. I myself am an advisor. And there are over 150 of us willing and ready to help you, you know, get through your college application list. Creating an account is free at collegeadvisor.com, and it's also free to schedule an advising consultation. You'll notice throughout your college application process as a junior or senior that everybody is talking about where they're at in the process. You know, well, I applied here and my friends applied here. A college advisor is going to be a person who can really help you stay on track and feel confident knowing that you're putting your best application forward.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Moving on to our second presenter of the night, Into Prep.
Hello and good evening. I just wanted to say before we begin that we'll be mainly taking questions and answering them via email. So for any questions, please email us at welcome@intoprep.net. I'm gonna put that up real quick. Let me share my screen first. Okay, awesome. Okay, so my name is Sally, and I'm here to introduce Into Prep. We are a standardized test preparatory academy specialized in SAT and ACT instruction. We are located in the greater Philadelphia region across 3 campuses. We have Upper Darby, Malvern, and Bryn Mawr. There we go. That picture on the upper left corner is our main campus in Malvern. So now let me just take a quick second and brag a little. So since our inception in 2010, we've helped over 1,000 students gain admission into their dream schools. 300, of those students gained acceptance into Ivy League colleges. 200 scored over a 1,500 out of 1,600 on the newer format SATs, and over 100 students scored at 1,550 or above, which is just at the very top. So you might be asking, how are we doing all this? What's our strategy? So first of all, we have an amazingly dedicated faculty of experienced professionals. We only have the math people here, but trust me, we do have English teachers and instructors. They have scored above the 99th percentile on the standardized test subjects they teach, and they hold degrees from some of the best colleges in the country, many of which are the very schools that our students hope to attend. So when we run our operation, it's year round, but our rigorous summer SAT and ACT camp that starts in June and runs through August is our flagship program. So our students are going to be attending 25 class sessions, either spread out over an 8-week period or condensed into a 5-week period, depending on the program they are enrolled in. So we have a couple of options. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. So the 3 different options are, as you can see in the chart, we have a 25-day camp. That's for both SAT and ACT, similar schedules. They run from June to August, meaning 3 weekdays per week for 8 weeks. So we're going to be offering the choice of fully in-person instruction or an online live class option. For both SAT and ACT, again, we have a 25-day intensive camp. Now, this is going to be starting a little later, running from mid-July to late August. These are fully live online classes and will meet every weekday for about 5 weeks. And the last option is just for the SAT folks, our 25-day residential camp. This is going to run from early July to early August. It meets every weekday at our Malvern campus or at Bryn Mawr. So this is going to be for students coming to us from different states, cross country, and even from abroad who are going to be staying with us during that time. Alrighty, so for any of our aforementioned program options, you're going to be expecting some pre-camp diagnostic tests and pre-camp homework, daily homework, once camp starts, weekly time mock tests. Our curriculum is going to be very rigorous, but this is how we dramatically improve scores and maximize performance in our students. And so this is what really sets us apart. If on the official test after a camp ends, your score has not improved by a certain guaranteed amount, we will offer free tuition for continued instruction until the next available official test date. At Into Prep, we guarantee a score improvement of 270 points for the SAT, or a score of 1,500 or higher, whichever comes first. For the ACT, we guarantee a score increase of 6 points or a score of 33, whichever comes first. So we're able to offer this unbeatable score guarantee under a few conditions, which involves, doing all the homework, attending all the classes, or at least the makeup days, taking the next available official exam after the summer camp you attend. So we have an incredible staff who routinely checks for homework completion, a sophisticated online progress tracking system, and a very dedicated director who will have regular one-on-one check-ins with you. If this is all a part of our commitment to you throughout the program and after. So basically the point is, if you do all of the above, if you put in your all into this program and follow our lead, we will back you, we will continue to support you, and even in the event that you aren't able to hit the score guarantee, we will be committed to you. So my final comments are, these are the score guarantee and homework policy. So my final comments are, committing to our program is going to be a life-changing decision for you and your child. every year we have so many past students coming up to us to tell us how our program allowed them to apply to schools that they had always considered to be too far of a reach, how our program allowed them to receive merit scholarships and grants of hundreds and thousands of dollars from their colleges, and even how the demanding workload they experienced at our camp equipped them with the work ethic and discipline needed to face similar workloads in college. So if you are considering a life-changing decision for you or for your child, please contact us at welcome@intoprep.net. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sally. Moving on to our third presenter of the night, volunteer crowd.
Thank you, Jonathan. And thank you to the TeenLife team for having us tonight. It's going to take me 1 second to just switch over. And I'll trust Jonathan to let me know if it's not working out. But my name is Amy Von Kanel, and I'm the CEO and founder of Volunteer Crowd. I apologize for not being present. I'm using a hotspot with 2 bars, so let's all cross our fingers. But what we do is we find some amazing volunteer projects for you, and then we help you build a portfolio to impress colleges and employers. Yes, there is life after college. And then here's what we look like when we can actually be on a video. My name is Amy, and I've got Megan and Neely on our team, as well as a number of different developers who are creating an incredible platform just for volunteering, shadowing, and soon work experience. And I will refer back to Megan pretty soon when I talk about the President's Volunteer Service Award. So not a secret probably to this crowd, in the fall of 2021, apps, college admissions will lean more heavily on things that fall into the holistic category, like letters of recommendation, student essays, character-related evidence. And what in the world is that really? Character ratings, online interviews, and digital portfolios. We actually have an answer to that. But first, before you can show evidence of what you're capable of, you need to find some opportunities. So we provide volunteer and shadow opportunities so you can volunteer the easy way. And we've been great with helping students during the pandemic with virtual volunteering in every category. So we recognize that students need to volunteer for their college resume. Maybe they're in a medical cohort program. We work with medical students, CTE programs. Maybe they're in community college, undergrad, pre-health, or medical school. We've even got great apps where you can exercise and have food donated through Feed America and get college and get volunteer hours. Everything goes through our app. You can find projects, you can track them, you can watch your verifications, and you can even see how you're qualifying for the President's Volunteer Service Award, the strength and skill recommendations that come in. And then we put it all together. So for example, you can qualify for the President's Volunteer Service Award. We are a certifying organization. And I mentioned Megan earlier today. She's hosting a 5 o'clock information session, 5 o'clock Pacific, and I'll have that link at the end. And then we pull everything onto a verified service transcript so that you can show colleges what you're capable of. Give them a glimpse of who you are today so they understand who you'll become when you step foot on their campus. Show them the investment that you've made in really understanding more about areas that you might be interested in academically, and also developing some of those non-academic sides of yourself, like character. And through our recommendation system, you can reveal some of your character strengths and soft skills. And you can get all of this to colleges either through our partnership with Parchment, or one thing we're launching in the next few weeks is the ability to put your transcript on LinkedIn. We also certify experience. We certify shadowing experience. Early next year, we will be certifying work experience. We certify your volunteer hours, and you can put this on LinkedIn as a public link so that you can refer individuals who you might be working with for a college application, an internship application, scholarship, merit aid, teachers for letters of recommendation. And this is in the specific area of LinkedIn where the information is certified. So back to what colleges will be looking for. They'll be looking for a lot of things that are a little bit different, as well as some of the traditional things like test scores and academics. We really help with some of these new categories. We're launching letters of recommendation later in August. We provide character-related evidence through our verified service transcript and character, I would say, strength and skill endorsements. And then also a digital portfolio that you can share in a number of ways. And these transcripts are official, by the way. So I'll just pause here and give you a few resources that we'll also put in chat. So go ahead and grab your phones and scan the QR code, then look for projects on Volunteer Crowd. If you're interested in the President's Volunteer Service Award, you can read more about that in our blog. We get a lot of requests about that. If you want to join office hours on that topic, every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m., our team will meet with students, parents, educators. We work with a lot of college consultants as well, who send us their students to build their portfolio. And then, of course, if you want to understand our plans and how they work, go to Volunteer Crowd's homepage and click plans. We've got various plans, whether you're just looking for great volunteer opportunities and the convenience of tracking, or if you're also looking to build your verified service portfolio, credential maybe some of your medical shadowing hours, get some certifications on LinkedIn, or later this summer, requesting a letter of recommendation, perhaps from one of the nonprofits you served. We could help you with it all. And Jonathan, I think I nailed it at 6 minutes exactly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Moving on to our next presenter, we have the National Portfolio Day Association. Take it away, Sharon.
Hey, everybody. I'm Sharon Starling. I'm here on behalf of the National Portfolio Day Association. I have my good friend and colleague, Carla, she works at the College for Creative Studies in Detroit. I'm representing Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle, Washington. And this is a unique opportunity for students that are interested in the visual and the performing arts. So if you are thinking about studying the arts in college, you may or may not know that the best art and design programs require a portfolio for admission. How do you even know what goes in a portfolio? And how do you know if it is even good enough to get in? We can help. There's an organization called the National Portfolio Day Association, at our website up there. And this is an organization that was founded in 1978. We've been hosting events, National Portfolio Days, to assist students as they prepare to enter art and design degree programs. 90+ colleges and universities gather at online and in-person events to meet with prospective students. You get free feedback and coaching and on your portfolio. The member schools are all vetted. This is an invitation-only organization. The schools are not for profit. They have regional accreditation as well as NASAD accreditation. That stands for the National Association of Schools of Art and Design, which is an extra vetting process. The reviewers themselves are all admission counselors from the art schools and faculty. And they're also artists. So they know what it takes to get in. They are there to help you. This is a free, supportive coaching situation. So how does it work? We have both in-person and online events. And for the in-person events, our schedule should be up in about 2 weeks. We'll be having some in-person events. We'll be hosting 16 of those this year, and then we'll have 9 additional online events through the Visit Days platform. And what you do is you collect your artwork, and you might say, I don't even know if I have a portfolio. Well, if you make art on a regular basis, you do have a portfolio. You need to collect the pieces together. It could include individual works in any medium, might be part of a series, might be projects from classroom assignments, might be design projects that people contracted you to make, might be some concept-driven ideas like your own work that you do on your own time, could be reels and time-based documentation, could be a sketchbook, We suggest 12 up to 20 pieces. If you're coming in person, you pick an online event, you pick an event near you, collect the portfolio, look at the list of schools attending, show up early because it's a 4-hour block of time, and then be ready to talk about your work. It's good to bring snacks and water and to have all your devices charged up. And if you're doing one of the online dates, you build an account at Visit Days, you log in for scheduled dates, and then you'll be meeting and sharing your digital portfolio with the different representatives. And not to negate the elephant in the room, but if there are naysayers in your world and they're saying, don't study the arts, you'll be poor and starving, bust that myth at the Strategic National Arts Alumni Project, SNAP, where we've done a lot of documentation and research through Indiana University. And then just a couple more resources to help you. Links for the National Portfolio Day Association, the Association of Independent Colleges of Art and Design, ACAD, the NASAD group, and then more at SNAP. Thank you very much, Carla, and I will take questions in the chat.
Thank you so much, Sharon and Carla. We're now moving on to our last presenter of this evening before the Q&A portion, and that is SMARTTRACK College Funding. Take it away, Cindy.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Hi, everybody. Amazing presentation so far. I've gotten so much out of all of them just being a watcher while I'm waiting my turn. Hi, everyone. My name is Cindy Menegas. I am the National Program Director at SMARTTRACK College Funding, and it's a pleasure to be here with TeenLife Expo. We are a company that's been around over 20 years. We've helped over 250,000 families to better organize themselves to pay and better pay less for college. We work with parents. While your kids are busy preparing to be the best applicants that they can be, we work with parents on making sure you're as well prepared as possible to handle the financial piece. So I'm going to take my 6 minutes today. It's not enough time to really get into the weeds. So instead, I'm going to share with you a webinar that we are going to do. It's my 1-hour presentation, what you need to know now about paying less for college. And we're doing that specifically for the TeenLife universe on Thursday, August 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to pre-register. This is a free webinar, but you do need to pre-register, and you can do that from our page on the TeenLife site, and you'll get some messaging about that as well. So I encourage you to do that. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about why you might want to attend that webinar and learn more about this subject. Clearly expensive. College is expensive, certainly more so than when I went to school. Whether you're looking at in-state public universities, out-of-state public universities, or private institutions, 4 years of college is going to run you anywhere from $80,000 to as much as $320,000 or more per child. Clearly, that's a lot of money, no matter who you are. And how you're going to cover those expenses should be something that you are thinking about. What you may not know is that middle and upper middle income families in particular will overpay for college by an average of $22,000 per year per student. That's a lot. Some of the ways that you can offset that and negate that is by starting as early as you can. And of course, it's great if you start saving for college the minute you find out you're pregnant. But what we're really talking about here is late stage college funding planning. When you have kids that are currently in 9th, 10th, 11th grade, now is when you want to begin thinking about this and making your plans, because the financial decisions that you make in the years before your child applies to college will greatly impact how much you will ultimately pay. Of course, if you have a rising senior, it's not too late. It just means it's 911, and you really need to get on this as quickly as possible before the financial aid application season begins the 1st of October, those of you with rising seniors. Now, if you have any of these kinds of concerns or questions, you really want to participate and hear what we have to say in our hour-long webinar. And that is, maybe you think, wow, we make too much money to qualify for financial aid, but we can't necessarily afford to pay full pop either. Maybe we haven't saved enough for all of our kids. Do you have an effective plan for how you're going to use your income and your assets to cover the considerable costs of educating your kids? If you want to maximize the aid that you're eligible for in terms of free money, merit aid, grants, scholarships, awards, some schools are going to be more generous with your family and your child than others. How do you identify those? Tax strategies might be something that really helps you open up cash flow and spend less out of your own pocket. If you're concerned about risking your retirement, you ought to be, because I think a lot of families will damage their retirement in pursuit of paying for college, and you want to be careful about doing that. Maybe you don't want to become dependent on expensive loans for you or for your student. You don't want to burden them with debt. Or maybe you just don't want to pay more than you have to. These are really important reasons to catch this Parent Ed webinar. So we're going to be discussing things like how your financial profile will impact how much you ultimately pay for college. And there are actionable steps. You can be proactive in this process. You don't have to just sit back and hope for the best when you submit a financial aid application. The financial aid system is complicated. A lot of people assume that they're not going to qualify, and so they don't engage. I'm here to tell you it's much broader and more inclusive than you may have ever imagined. When you can empower yourself as a parent, you're going to give your student more options. What you want to avoid is having your kid do everything they can, get admitted to their choice school, and then having you look at the real finances and say, oh, I'm so sorry, we just can't afford to do this, or get yourself deep in debt trying to do it. We'll debunk common myths that are really pervasive out there. I'll walk you through some case studies so you can really get a sense of what college funding planning does. And what I want to bring up is that all of you, as a TeenLife family, have the opportunity to take a free college funding evaluation with one of our professional licensed advisors. There's no cost, there's no obligation, there's certainly no pressure. It's really objective, and it'll really give you a good sense of where you are. I recommend that you follow the link in the chat that I just put in. That will take you to a site where you can create a SmartTrack account, take a quick online assessment, and schedule your complimentary evaluation. Before that evaluation appointment, you'll want to attend the webinar so you can really educate yourself, and that way when you do get on the phone for your evaluation call with an advisor, it'll be more substantive. You'll really understand the whole process and all of the lingo and everything else. So I hope that that'll be really helpful for you, and that you'll take advantage of this webinar. We look forward to seeing you on August 12th. Take care. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for that presentation. I'd like to welcome all of our presenters back onto the screen for a short Q&A, and invite all of our attendees to stick around as well. Welcome back, everybody. We have the same question to all of you. This is something that I think everyone touched on a little bit in their presentations, but I'd like to ask it specifically. As we all know, the college application process has changed a lot in the last couple of years, in the last 18 months. I'd like to ask each of you, how has your organization adapted to that? Or more specifically, what advice do you have for students out there who are having to navigate the new normals of the college application that they might not have had to navigate 4 or 5 years before? I know we even had a couple of questions in the chat about this, so I'm interested to see what everyone has to say. We're going to be answering this question in the same order that we presented. So Ariana, if you would like to start us off.
Sure. Working with College Advisor and as an admissions advisor, college admissions has become more competitive now more than ever. And so I think one thing that College Advisor does really well, and that the people who work at College Advisor do really well, is helping a student highlight what makes them not just a qualified applicant, but an exceptional applicant, somebody that we want at a university, because it's competitive. A student who got in last year may not be the same student we accept this year, depending on how competitive the application field is. And so I think what College Advisor does really well is helping students identify what their strengths are and utilize them to put forth the best application that they can.
Thank you so much. I believe that our presenters from Into Prep have had to return to one of their very camps that they were talking to everyone about. So Amy from Volunteer Crowd, if you'd like to answer this question, how do you think students out there are navigating the new normals now?
Hey, Jonathan. Yes, the new normal continues to be redefined month by month. Well, there are a few new normals when it comes to extracurriculars, and volunteering and shadowing is a huge extracurricular. First of all, there was the new normal of varsity blues, and that really compelled students to really corroborate some of what they talk about with their extracurricular activities in their college application and their essay. And so because we're able to verify those activities with volunteering and shadowing, we do that. And then also, we didn't get past that news cycle very long when COVID hit. And all of a sudden, it got really challenging for students to find volunteer opportunities. But what we did is we focused on virtual volunteering. And what was so wonderful about that is that a lot of nonprofits were able to take their programming and deliver it online. So that meant it didn't matter if you lived in rural Wisconsin, you could still participate in the Tiger Woods STEM Foundation Learning Lab in Florida. And I don't see that going away. So that is one of the silver linings out of the last few years. So we really focus on bringing those rich opportunities and then making sure that the student has ample corroboration and proof. And I think Ariana brought it up earlier, is really showing where students are focused and what they really care about through their actions and activities. Most students are told they need to volunteer, but what we like to tell students is everything else is up to you. You get to write the story of the impact you get to make. I hope that helps.
I think that was a great answer. Thank you so much for that. At the National Portfolio Day Association, the arts world especially has been shook up the last couple of years. What advice do you have for students and art students specifically to navigate sort of the new normals of the college application process?
Yeah, and Carla, feel free if you want to unmute and join in. Yeah, you're so right. The creatives have used their creativity. We have overcome a lot in these 18 months. I think the organization pivoted very quickly to an online platform that we'd never done before, but we saw students from all over the world participating, and that was something that we'd pretty much been based in North America prior to that. And so we're moving forward with this, yes, and let's do some in-person, let's continue the online platform. We have a better online platform this year, and I think we're all excited to see the artwork that's going to come out of the pandemic. This application cycle is going to be really exciting, I think.
I think one small add is that, many students had difficulty creating work because they were outside of the art classroom, and not many students had access to materials and supplies, tools, studios, things like that. So one of the things that we've really been trying to encourage students to do is just create something with what you have and use that creativity in ways that maybe you haven't really been taught, but try and hone in on that ability you have to see things differently and just start making stuff. It doesn't have to be an assignment.
I think that's fantastic advice for college applications and beyond. Lastly, Cindy, the last 18 months have shaken a lot of people up financially as well. What do you think? What advice do you have for students and parents, as you mentioned, out there navigating the new normals now of the college application process?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thanks, Jonathan. I think that for so many families, the last 18 months have wreaked havoc on their finances. And while families have always been concerned about the high cost of college, I think it's become even that much more of an issue for a lot of families. And so what has always been true is more true even now, which is you have to do everything in your power to make sure that you are going to pay as efficiently as you can, to pay the least that you can. And that's going to involve organizing your own financial profile so that you present yourself in the most positive way when you begin being assessed for financial aid and grants and scholarships. That's one, but you also really have to work hard at finding good fit schools likely to be generous with your family. Some schools have struggled through the pandemic, just like households have. And their endowments and their ability to incentivize you to attend their school may have taken a hit. Hopefully, they're going to rebound quickly as the rest of the economy does. But you really have to do your homework. You can't just put out your financial aid application and cross your fingers and hope for the best and find yourself underfunded and overextended and dependent on loans. So my answer to that question is more than ever, be proactive.
Thank you so much for that answer. That brings us to the end of this first session of the College Prep Expo. I want to thank all of our presenters for their wonderful insights, and all of you for attending. We hope that you have learned a little bit, and that some of that anxiety about the college application process might be easing away, chipping away just a little bit. As you see in this session, we have a lot of very different sorts of information for you, and it will be the same way in our second session that will be starting just in about 20 minutes from now. So again, we encourage you to come to that. If you got the link to this meeting, you should have gotten the link to the next session. So we hope to see you there. If not, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Once again, thank of our presenters, and best of luck to all of you as you continue in the college application process. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.